Alright, so many of you have probably heard about the recent events in Virginia, Charlettsville, Virginia, which ended up being a white supremacy rally, which ended up being one of the bloodiest protests in history. This protest did leave 34 people injured, approximately 19 of those coming from a car crash, and leaving a 32-year-old woman dead. So, in this short little speech, I hope to shed light on how some of these events affect you and I, and even those around us. So, on Saturday, August 12th, in the morning, First Baptist Church, which happens to be a very historical church, a very well-known historical African-American church, white supremacist groups such as the KKK and a few other groups which I will not name, gathered in front, waving the Confederate flag, yelling slogans such as "You will not replace us" and "Jews will not replace us," wearing helmets and carrying shields, which eventually were turned on counter-protesters, leaving many counter-protesters with bruises and cuts, and many of them even walked away with a bloody face. Also, one of the major events that happened was the car crash, which was driven by a 20-year-old white nationalist named James Alex Fields. He drove his white sports car into a crowd of people who were peacefully marching after white supremacist groups had already fled the scene, and leaving 19 people injured and one 32-year-old woman dead. Now, you may be asking how these events affect us, you and I, or those around us. And one key factor is our recently elected president, Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been associated with white supremacists throughout his campaign, and according to Cheryl Stolberg of the New York Times, the battles have been intensified by the election of Mr. Trump, who enjoys fervent support from white nationalists. And also, if you look closely to Trump's comments about the incidents in Charlottesville, he specifically does not name specific white supremacist groups, and he also blames hatred, bigotry, and violence in many sides. He refuses to speak of the names of the people or the groups who were involved. And to think, this is the man who runs our country, makes some of our biggest decisions. And a lot of his decisions affect all of us. And stuff like this, these rallies, these white supremacist rallies can happen anywhere. In fact, there was supposed to be one in SF. And stuff like that can happen anywhere across the country, in some of our biggest cities, even on our own campus. The reason why this is such a big problem is because we're all so diverse here. We're all unique in our own way, and a lot of us seem to be blinded by the color of other skin or the country that they come from. And the way I look at it is we should all be living in harmony, not hate. And thank you.